back to our Higher Ground podcast series, where on this episode today we have an amazing guest. We have Tendai Rukwava, who is joining us today. She is the founder and CEO of Coral Communications, an award-winning and 100% female-owned PR and marketing agency, founded right here in Johannesburg, now operating across Africa, the UK, and the US. So, Coral Communications was recently voted one of the top 10 PR agencies in South Africa and is an independent poll in which over 1,200 corporate clients actually participate. So this is an amazing award and a recognized thought leader in her field. So Tendai was named Leading Communications Expert of the Year in 2024 at the Influential Business Women Awards. She also serves on the board of MOT South Africa, a comprehensive global life skills program aimed at strengthening youth's awareness and to courage to life, courage to care, and courage to say no. So that is super, super awesome. Tendai has built a business rooted in powerful storytelling, which is what we're going to do today, helping brands find their voice, shape perception, and connect meaningfully with their audiences. So without further ado, let me just welcome Tendai. Thank you so much for being here today. What a privilege.
Thank you so much for having me, Nicole. I'm really excited to be here today, and I hope that we have a lot of fun and share, some insightful information with your audience today.
No brainer that we will, for sure, Tendai. Thank you for that. It's such a privilege, like I said, and I absolutely love these conversations. So thank you so much for making the time. And I think let's start right at the beginning, Tendai. What sparked the idea for Coral Communications and what kept you going in those early days when things felt really uncertain?
Well, the journey actually started, due to a mix of two things. Number one was passion. And then the second thing was a demand because a lot of other people within my network and sphere of influence could see what I was really good at. At the time, I wasn't working in a fully PR marketing oriented role. So it's almost like I would assist them just purely out of passion because I enjoyed it. And then out of that, I had then decided and realized, hey, I could actually create a business out of this. And I also come from a family of entrepreneurs. So that's when I decided to see how I could actually grow this into something. And as you know, when you're creating a business, it's not so much about yourself. It's not so much about what you're good at. It's about what the market needs. So I realized that there was an opportunity to really, really help businesses because with a large number of PR and marketing agencies, they're more focused on offering packages. And what makes us unique is that we actually tailor all of our solutions based on the business's challenges or goals. So you can't just say, I want social media and we'll give it to you. We say, hold the boat. What are you actually trying to achieve? Or what is your challenge right now? And then we tailor a solution based on that. So that's the first side of why we exist. Then the second side, again, is linked to a personal passion where, I just got tired of this perception that things that come out of Africa are substandard or not as good as, what the West has to offer. So I then decided to create an agency which is able to produce world-class campaigns and world-class work founded on excellence that's built right here in Africa, where when people actually realize that, okay, this is an African-owned agency, an African-born agency, they're like, oh my gosh, the African people behind this. So we are actually out here to prove a point as well. That's why we exist.
That
And
is
that's also
so
what keeps us
beautiful.
going.
I love understanding the roots, to be completely honest. I mean, even when I work with my candidates, I work with my clients, just understanding the whole journey and the story behind where they started, why they built their business, their service, their offerings, and how that's been shaped over the years. So I love that you saw that need and that gap. But the work that you do is also based a lot on purpose and passion, which is truly incredible. And I mean, looking at your journey, what do you believe has been the biggest driver of your success? And has that changed as the business has grown?
I think the biggest driver, well, I can't actually pick one. I'll give you a few. I
Okay.
hope you'll allow me. So I think
Yes.
the first thing is belief in self, because when you're building something that only you can see in your mind, it's very difficult to get the rest of the world excited about it and people to buy into that vision. So it's
Yeah.
almost like you need a certain level of insanity and delusion to almost like keep yourself going, keep yourself energized,
Yes.
and to also allow other people to see what you're seeing and other people to believe in what you're believing in. I think the second thing has also just been the people that I've had around me that have also seen the vision and believed in it. Not
Mm,
just in my personal life, but some of the, team members we have working within the agency,
mm.
and the value that they've just brought into that vision where it started out being this thing that I'm seeing, and then they come in and they're like, oh, how about we then add this? Or I see this happening. And then before you know it, the vision is bigger and bolder
Yeah.
than what you actually envisioned it to be in the beginning. And then I think the other thing that just keeps me going is, in wanting to live out a path that, seems to not exist for other women, young people, because it hasn't been done before, like in their immediate spheres. So I want to be
Yeah.
able to live my life in such a way that they like, oh my gosh, she managed to achieve this despite her challenges or her background. This is what she managed to achieve. I can actually do more than that or live out whatever my dream is because of this person who is similar to me and what they managed to do with their life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as I'm listening to you, Tendai, I'm also being reminded that everything starts in here and in here, right? It's in your heart. It's almost like a blueprint, like you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to be your biggest fan, right? And your biggest supporter. And then being able to continue doing what you do because of that drive. And maybe people around you won't understand it, but it is this burning fire in you to, just achieve your goals and
Yes,
create a life. And
yes,
everything just starts in here. You plant the seeds, and with time, you start to see it on the outside.
yes.
And just being a role model for those. So I really think that's, and it's the softer things that we don't think about. It's not only just having the skills, but it's that softer, um, basically that affirmation and that belief for what you're here for and chasing
Yeah.
that dream.
And I think that self-belief is actually one of the most difficult things on any journey, because if you're someone like me, I'm, very hard on myself. So it's very difficult to always pick yourself up when things don't go according to plan, or when things
Yes,
are not going at the pace that you want, or, when the vision is not materializing the way that you envisioned. You have to always like be kinder to yourself, um, and just somehow find the grace for yourself to actually keep going.
definitely. Definitely. And to be honest, I mean, Tendai, I think those are the normal characteristics of someone who's a leader, who's running a business, who's an entrepreneur. We are incredibly tough on ourselves. And yeah, I think it's very normal so for your sort of position. And I think you wouldn't be where you are today if you weren't that kind of person. So yeah, it's just good to have that balance, but that self-belief is everything. And I mean, you've built a business and a team. What are the key things that you've done intentionally or that you've learned the hard way that have shaped the culture you have today? Because again, like people shape the culture of a business.
So I'm laughing because I mainly learned the hard way, to be honest with you. I learned
Yeah.
the hard way. And how I landed up learning the hard way was because I did not listen to myself. I did not listen to my instinct. I did not trust my own um, knowledge when it came to my hiring decisions, to a point where I
Mm,
then had to learn the hard way. But coming back from that, yeah, it's mainly, listening to yourself is the first thing. When you are hiring people or when you're building a team, it's not so much about the CV, it's not so much about the work experience. It's a lot deeper than people actually realize. It's also about, the personality. How will adding this person to my current team mix affect everyone else? because it's almost like with relationships. You'll find that when someone is dating one guy, they bring out the best in them. When they date another guy, they bring out the worst in them. It's the
Yeah.
same with team dynamics. So when it comes to culture, you also have to make sure that in creating the culture, before you bring someone into the business, you're looking at all of that beyond the
Yeah.
CV and the experience. And then on the day that they actually start, or before they actually start, you make the team aware, as well as the new individual, that what actually shapes the culture of a business is not the leader. The leader does provide the blueprint. We provide the playground essentially, but it's up to you how you then engage on that playground. So
Yes.
ultimately, the team creates the culture. And this is something that I used to struggle with in the beginning, because I felt that it weighed on me as the leader to carry the culture, or to create the culture. But if you're not also giving some of that power, accountability, and room to create to your team members, you are
Yeah.
actually setting yourself up for failure.
You're 100% right on that. Absolutely. So it is about hiring for certain values, beliefs, and characteristics that make an individual successful, as opposed to ticking all the boxes on the technical skills or the qualifications or what kind of work experience you're looking for. But you really want to also hire for mindset and attitude, which I believe a lot of our clients are big on as well. But at the same time, everything else needs to be complementary, the technical skills and the experience. And that's why they say it's so hard to find the right candidate, because you can have all of that, but then unfortunately you don't have the right personality or capability to thrive in that sort of team. So
Yeah.
it can be really tough to find the right people for your organization.
Yeah. And just to touch on that, I mean, I think it's also why AI can never replace humans, because I don't think they can bring good coffee time banter, for example. So I think
Right.
we'll always need humans behind whatever we're doing.
Precisely. And it is. It's about chemistry, it's about connection, it's about community. And you can just tell if you hit it off with somebody. And like you said, no AI tool or application would be able to do that for you. So yeah, I mean it's an incredibly important thing. And I mean, now I'm curious. Do you have like a favorite quote or a personal saying? I would even say to the extent of like a mantra or something that reminds you, or reminds you of like when you're needing that boost, that extra inspiration, that burst of energy, like something that you carry with you every day.
So it used to be one, and then I adopted a second one. So it was that season where I now needed two quotes to just, give me that boost. So the first one is who dares wins. So with that one, what I got from it was, as long as you're trying, you're already, winning, because a lot of people don't even make that effort to try. So that's the first one, who dares wins. And then the second one is God is within her, she cannot fail. So with that one, it just ties back into that self-belief, and also, depending on your beliefs or your background, knowing that, based on who you are, you can achieve whatever you put whatever you aim to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I think that I guess quotes they'll resonate with you based on the season that you're in, the chapter that you're in your life, like. And then there's ones that will forever like be with you. It will just always push you. And I love that first one. I saw it on your LinkedIn profile, and I love that, because if you don't try, you'll never know. If you don't
Yes.
ask the question, you'll never know if it's a yes or a no. So you always got to test the waters. You've got to, test the boundaries. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to try. So I absolutely love that. It's a definite reminder for everybody, whether it's big or small, in terms of what they're exploring and what they're challenging themselves on. So I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing, Tendai. And I think it's the perfect way to conclude our podcast. So thank you for sharing those. And what we'll do is we'll make sure that we'll put all the information below, so that people in our audience, people who are listening or watching or that are already following you and that are super inspired by this podcast can obviously reach out, connect, follow, and just be on the journey with you, Tendai. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And we will see you on the next one.
Thanks, Nicole, and thank you to the Higher Ground team.